When Joe called me in January to let me know he'd be receiving this honor, I remember he told me he was surprised and he didn't really know how CBA made these decisions. Of course, I wasn't surprised at all because I think Joe is one of the terrific guys of all time and clearly deserves to be in any Hall of Fame. At CBA, Joe enjoyed basketball. He was point guard, ran track, the quarter mile, and he ran cross country as well. Academically, I understand he was mostly a B student. He was a late bloomer and a frequent visitor, apparently, to disciplinarian Brother Amity's office. Joe went on to Villanova, and after graduation in 1969, he attended Woodstock, where he joined nearly 500,000 others of our generation and presumably did nothing to change Brother Amity's view. Fortunately, he must have been able to find his clothes after Woodstock because he went on to graduate from Columbia University's Graduate School of Business, and it was there at Columbia that Joe was introduced to the commercial real estate world, leading to a long, successful, and even legendary career in institutional real estate investment. He started on the West Coast, living in San Francisco, where he met and married Abigail. They also spent some time in Hawaii, where they learned to scuba dive and began traveling internationally. And then, along with 3-year-old Adeline, returned to the East Coast, where he became a partner at AEW Capital Management in Boston, one of the earliest and most innovative institutional real estate investment managers in the country. Over his 20-plus years at AEW, Joe served as Chief Investment Officer, CEO, and Chairman, while also becoming Chairman of the Pension Real Estate Association and a trustee and board member of the Urban Land Institute. And during this time, Joe and Abigail also added Nick to the household, who has also achieved great success in the same industry. Following Joe's retirement from AEW, he was recruited to start the real estate arm of Citibank's Alternative Investment Group, where he built a global investment business. You can see the kind of commitment this involved. 15 cities on 3 continents in 4 weeks, a schedule that I'm guessing inspired the City Never Sleeps slogan introduced by the bank the following year. After 5 years in the great financial crisis of 2008-2009, Joe transitioned his real estate business to the private equity firm Apollo Global Management, one of the largest firms in the world, where he became a senior partner and a member of the management committee. Throughout his career, Joe has been actively engaged in giving back to his alma maters, including sponsoring scholarships, a distinguished speakers forum, and the Clinic for Asylum, Refugee, and Immigrant Services at Villanova University. He's given scholarships and served as adjunct professor and chairman of the Milstein Center Advisory Board at Columbia Business School, and he served on boards for nonprofit organizations involved in education, the environment, and the arts. Here's a guy who has the balance we all hope to achieve in life. Married for 44 years to the same woman, an artist who is strong and accomplished in her own right. They have a marriage built on love and respect, and a marriage that produced 2 terrific kids, Adeline and Nick, now adults with their own children, Joe's 4 grandchildren, who are an important part of his life. In 2015, Joe was appointed by Gina Raimondo, now our U.S. Secretary of Commerce, but Governor of Rhode Island at the time, to chair a public-private partnership that revitalized and drove economic growth in Providence, nearby Little Compton, Rhode Island, where Joe and his family have spent summers and plenty of off-season time for many years. I sat next to Joe that spring in Ireland as we were traveling between 2 of the world's great golf courses. I was doing something I thought was important at the time, like studying the course map. Joe was on the phone negotiating a deal to bring legions of new jobs to the state of Rhode Island. My golf game and the state both needed help, but Joe's impact was much longer lasting. More recently, a lifelong learner with a passion for making a difference in this world, Joe was accepted into the highly competitive Advanced Leadership Initiative at Harvard, where he joined a small class of high achievers, spending a couple of years in Cambridge thinking about how to make an even bigger social impact in the future. Joe is a natural Hall of Famer. It might not have been obvious on the basketball court or even at Woodstock, But this leader can also be described as someone who is a loyal friend, husband, and father with a passion for travel, art, architecture, food and wine, and fly fishing. Many things that come together to create a whole person, which is a part of what Joe credits CBA with having helped him build in himself. The notion that CBA honors men who exemplify the ideals of CBA and bring credit and distinction to the Academy makes it easy to understand why CBA chose Joe. And as his good friend, it's unimaginable to me, as well as I know Joe, that anyone could be a better representative of what the Academy stands for than this guy. Joe, I've never had a better friend in this life, and it is a great honor for me to be able to provide this introduction and talk a little bit about your background. I believe from my heart that you are a Hall of Famer, and I congratulate you on this honor.